Coaches, welcome back to another episode as we talk about pistol actions. This really complements the get actions episode that we did recently, one of our previous ones last year, where we talked about zoom actions. And in this episode, I want to break down, generally, like for beginners, what are some of the things with pistol action that we can start to utilize? And as you watch this and see some of the breakdown and listen to this, I think you're going to be able to really recognize how much you see this watching college games, watching NBA games, and all the many, many options that, we're not even going to be able to go over, and, options that I haven't even thought of and maybe haven't even been discovered yet by anyone else. So as we get into what is a pistol action, and then I'm going to show you the two most basic ones that you could use immediately, and then some of the extra variations that we can add as well. So a pistol action, generally speaking, right, is by a traditional definition is a dribble handoff followed by a ball screen. So if you're looking at this on YouTube, this would be a common action. If you have somebody bringing the basketball down in transition and you have them say kind of between the wing and the seam, and they haven't pushed the basketball ahead, and you have somebody who is running the sideline, they didn't get it on the wing, and so then they push down to the corner, and maybe you have a big trailing the play and they're at, say, the top of the key to the left seam or slot kind of area. So what could happen is that point guard could dribble the basketball more or less down to the wing. The two who's now in the corner could come up, and that's where they would get the handoff action. And like I said, the five was trailing the play. They would start to slide over a bit. And as the two gets the handoff on the wing from the one, then they would immediately come off a ball screen, or shortly after come a ball screen from the five. The two is able to get downhill, possibly. And what happens off of this sometimes, if we go over a few basic options, obviously we can try to score off this. If you're rolling the five after the ball screen, and let's say the one who brought the basketball down handed off to the two on the wing, and then they dip down to the corner. Well, once we have this ball screen action going on from the wing and the two is attacking towards the middle, and let's say the five rolls, well, who might be tagging that five? Probably the X1 defender in the corner. So if they start to slide over, common passes, the one lifts out of the corner, coming back up to the wing, and the two who's coming off of that ball screen can kick it over to the one, and they lift out of the corner for a catch and shoot three. You can get in after that. Okay, we rolled the five into the post, and so that would be an easy action for us to be able to get a post entry, especially if teams are starting to switch those ball screens. Maybe we have a mismatch that they can get the ball down there as well. A ton of different options off of this. So again, let's just very basic. This could be in a half court set. This could be in a semi-break type situation, but just looking at it one more time and review for our podcast listeners. If one or two, anybody is bringing the basketball up kind of the wing, sideline, slot area, they bring it down, they can get a handoff in to the player lifting out of the corner. Again, this is just a common action that we see for teams that are running pistol. And then it's followed up by a ball screen from usually a five, a four, whoever's trailing the play. And then we can come off that ball screen and we're playing. Okay. So that'd be one example of how we can start to use pistol within our offense. Easy to use in a transition, easy to use in a full court set. Another one that I want to share is a horn set. So if you can imagine a horn set for me for a moment, and let's say we have a guard and a big at the elbows. And if you're looking at this screen, you can see that as well. So the point guard has it up top, and the point guard is going to pass near one of the elbow areas. You could extend this up to the 3-point line if you like as well. But let's say we enter the ball just above the elbow area to the two. And after that, what we're going to have happen is, let me give him the ball here. Okay, so two has the basketball, and one is now going to chase it. All right, so one chases this play. Now, there's a lot of things that we can do off of this. We could hand the basketball back to the one at the elbow. They can turn the corner and go. That would be what? That'd be just a traditional get action, right? But it can build into some of these other things. So This is a great way for us to think about all the options that can come from something like this, because the 1 can pass to the 2, they cut through, they do not get the basketball back. They just continue to go, cut to the basket, and then the 5 can slide over. They can set a ball screen for the 2, and the 2 can play. Again, you can lift, you can move these into a variety of different positions. I want to show one more for you off of what was kind of like a get into that action. So let's go back to this left screen, and I want you to think about one who's bringing the basketball up. Maybe they are just crossing half court. They pass the basketball ahead to 2 who's been running up on the wing. Now, again, we want to run a pistol action. So after 1 throws the basketball ahead to the 2, they're going to throw and go or get that basketball back. And so 2 is then going to hand the basketball back to the 1. All right. So 1 passed to 2. 1 goes to 2. 2 now gets the basketball back. And now we've thrown, we've gone, right? So throw and go. Then we've been able to get our handoff back. 2, generally after they hand the basketball back to 1, couple options. They can dive to the rim. They can get to the corner. They can come off a flare screen from the 5. All right. That might be a great option to get them a look. So if we were coming up the sideline, 1 threw the basketball to 2, 1 chased it and got the handoff back. And then 5 decided, hey, I'm going to set a flare screen for 2. Boom. And that could be immediate pass after the handoff, 1 going to the 2. But we're running pistol right here. We want to get that ball screen action in. And this is a great way to clear this entire side for the screener and the ball handler. 5 can now slide over, set a ball screen for the 1. 1 can turn the corner, get downhill. We can play a 2-man game, 2-girl game with the 1 and the 5 in that situation. So that's a very common way to use the get action, right? Let's go over some of the things we want to think about when it comes to running get action as far as some of the options. So if 1 throws the basketball ahead to the 2, all right? So I'm coming up the sideline, kind of toward the seam area, and I throw the basketball ahead towards the 2, and I decide, hey, I want to chase this thing. And so 1 chases the basketball. They get the basketball back. We're just thinking, hey, I can turn the corner hard and I can get all the way to the basket and score. If we don't have that opportunity, 2, as we said, has some options that they can clear. Let's say they go down to the corner. 5 can slide over as they were trailing. They set a ball screen. We can turn the corner and get downhill. This leads into what we talked about before. Maybe 5 is truly screen and roll. They come in here. We can look to hit there. 2 lifting out of the corner. And obviously we got 5 players out on the court. We can run some type of exchange on the backside to occupy some of those different defenders. Now, another look that's excellent off of a pistol action is this. So if 1 has the basketball, they're bringing it up and they pass ahead to the 2. Okay, so they pass ahead to the 2. Again, 1 is chasing this like they're going to get the basketball back. This needs to be a threat within your offense, because otherwise they're not going to pay attention to it. They're going to wait for the next action and prepare for that ball screen. So if you throw and you go hard to get that ball back, you've turned the corner, maybe you've gotten to the rim, you've gotten fouled, you got caught up on a bad switch. Maybe you threw to 2 and they're expecting that handoff. And so now 2 has kept the basketball and they were able to turn the corner and get downhill. You're keeping the defense honest, as well as looking through all the options that this provides. So if 1 threw it ahead to 2, they chased it, they didn't get the handoff. We're still within our pistol. 5 can start to slide over. They're going to set a ball screen for the 2 this time, who received that pitch ahead pass. Instead of the 1 coming off the handoff, they can turn that corner on the ball screen, and then we're back again before. So we've switched who's coming off of the ball screen but we're still within these 3-player actions of running pistol, and those can be really effective. Two can come off the ball screen, they can roll, you can get into the flare. There's so many great looks that we can start to utilize within some of the pistol action. So as you think about this, my hope is that the wheels are starting to turn with all the other things that you might do that we're not breaking down in this quick video. Okay, let's look at an option where it's more or less a double ball screen. Now, if two's bringing the basketball up in transition along, let's say, the left side, and one is up ahead of them, could be down the corner, maybe they're lifting up to the wing, maybe they stopped at the wing, and 5 is trailing the play. If we throw that basketball ahead to the 1, and you might be asking, like, why are we trying to throw it ahead when 2 is going to get the handoff and then come off the ball screen? It loosens up the defense. You get a chance for a quick pitch ahead. If nobody's guarding the 1 or they're falling asleep, they can just get it downhill. So if we can advance the basketball with the pass, we want to advance the basketball with the pass. If that's not the case and it's not the situation, maybe that pass isn't there, whatever it is, then we can dribble down and we're still within our offense. It's all good. You can still run pistol out of both those options, but advancing the ball with the pass is something that we want to be able to do. So if 1 passes the basketball or 2 passes the basketball ahead to 1, who's up on the wing, 2 goes and gets the basketball back. And let's say that, they might take kind of a dribble down. Apologize for, some of the spacing on this. And now 1 is going to set they're going to set a ball screen this time. So if 1 has the basketball on the wing, they hand off to 2. 2 might take a couple hard dribbles to kind of get that defense, keep them honest. And now they come off a ball screen from the 1, and then a ball screen from the 5, and then you turn the corner, and then you're playing. This could be one player dives, one player lifts, either or. This could turn into a double ball screen, and then 5 sets another ball screen for the 1, and then the 1 comes off the screen. That's great if you run a 5 out, especially maybe you're running your 5 as a shooter. That's a great option to have as well. Okay, so as you start to think about pistol action, and I feel like I'm going probably too fast through some of these things, but there's so many great ways that we can start to run this to utilize and be more effective. So just the basic bones of this thing is, if 2 brings the basketball up, they want to get it to 1, right? 1 was ahead. We want to get the basketball to 1. They can dribble over to 1 and hand the basketball off to 1. Keep it simple. Okay. We got 1 with the basketball. After 1 gets the handoff, we're going to come get them with a ball screen. Keep it simple. This is the basic components of a pistol action. 1 comes off that ball screen, and we're playing, and you be creative out of some of those options as far as what you want the 2 to do, what you want the 5 to do. As they start to get a better understanding of the reads, they're just playing. That's where the real fun begins. They start to figure things out on their own as far as what the strengths and weaknesses are of their teammates, what the strengths and weaknesses are of the defense, what some of the reads are that they're continuing to make. And if you're somebody who's saying, hey, we just switch a lot of these, okay, well, then it becomes very important for us to be able to punish the switch. And I think that really good teams punish the switch and average teams don't. And so chances are, as much as teams are trying to guard multiple positions, if the best player has the ball and there's some type of a switch and the worst player is guarding them, we got to punish the switch. If it's a big, small, we can punish that situation, punish the switch. If it's a small, big, and we can use the quickness advantage, we need to punish that situation. So as you think about running get actions / throw and goes, as you start to think about running zooms, which would be down screen, and let's just quick review, because there's a lot of similarities here with the zoom. So let's just go over a zoom action real quick. Again, pistol is handoff into ball screen. Zoom is down screen into handoff. So if 1 brings the basketball towards the kind of seam slot area and they pass across to the other seam where the 5 is right here, now they're going to get into a down screen for the 2 that we have on the left corner. So 1 brought it down on the left seam. They passed it across to the right seam. They set a down screen for the 2. And now 2 is coming off of that screen. And 1 who has the 5 who has the basketball. Sorry, 5 has the basketball. They were trailing the play. Now they're coming in. They're giving a handoff to the 2. And so this is a great way to loosen up the defense, because if you have a player that you really want to get the basketball to and they're tightly guarded, they're being denied a lot, you want to loosen up the defense. Maybe they are a switching team, but it's a high priority for the best player to get the basketball. We can get a good switch on it. So as you think about combining zooms and pistol, 1, I highly recommend it, because I think the more we can get into 3-player actions instead of 2, the harder it is for us to guard, the more the defense has to communicate with one another. But think about how you can sprinkle in those situations where, okay, we're going to run a zoom right here. 1 brings it, they pass across to the 5, seam to seam. 1 goes down, sets a wide pin down for 2. 2's coming off the screen. 5 has the basketball. They're dribbling into a dribble handoff off of 2. 2's getting the basketball off of that handoff, and we're playing. And then you could set an additional screen. 5 could hand off the ball to the 2, and then could go and then get 1 and set a screen for them and lift 1 out of that. 5 could then dive. There's maybe 5 is a shooter, right? So if you want to run a zoom action, but you have multiple shooters involved, including the big, that's a great option to have. 2 passes the basketball from seam to seam. So left seam to the right seam, or left slot to the right slot. They go down, they set a screen in kind of that mid corner wing area for the 1. 1 starts to come off this. 5 dribbles over to the 1. They get the handoff. That point is zoom action. 2 comes up and sets a flare screen for the 5. Get the ball here to our point guard. 2 comes in, sets a flare screen for the 5. And now, boom, we're getting 5 out of there. And 1 could eventually come off that screen, come off the handoff that they just received from the 5. 5's getting a flare screen from the 2. We can kick it out, and then they could get a 3 if that's a shooter. You can mix and match some of these positions. So I felt like I went really fast on this, so I apologize. But for more information about how you can start to use pistols and zooms and get actions to loosen up the defense, please let me know. It's contact@crimmerbasketball.com. If you're interested in our coaching membership site, it's coachesedge.coach, where we have hundreds of videos and breakdowns and PDFs and drills, and you name it, we have it. We have meetings every single month for coaches to be able to join, where we have certain topics and guest speakers and different presentations. And we talk about a lot of things like this, a lot of specific game planning, leadership, culture builders, and much, much more. But, the point of this is a quick run through for beginners on how you can start to use pistol action, handoff into a ball screen. And I'm sure that as you get out onto the court, you're going to start to see a lot of things and how they can unfold. I do it this way. Most part, this is how I learn the best. When I watch game film of players using it, for some reason, I need to get better at it. My mind goes to like the reads that a lot of those players were using. But when I watch it in like a court diagram, because it's just a bunch of numbers out on the court, I feel much more creative, and my mind starts to just explode with all these different options that players are able to use. And I get really creative in my mind with offense, where the defense is going to be, in different things that they might try to do to stop a pistol action, for example. So if you're with me, I hope that breakdowns like this on our YouTube channel, and for those that are really good with audio and breaking things down in their mind, that this helps on the Coach's Edge podcast as well. If you guys need anything, if I can help you out, please let me know. Happy to help in any way. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Get after it today.